What if everything Beth and Rip have fought for is about to be taken away again? After the explosive events of Episode 6, the future of the ranch hangs by a thread. Enemies are moving in the shadows, old secrets are resurfacing, and a war that has been brewing since the beginning of the season is finally ready to explode. Episode 6 ended with violence, betrayal, and a chilling warning for Beth Dutton. Chet's deadly attack left chaos at the 10-Petal Ranch, while Beulah Jackson revealed that she may know far more about Beth's dark past than anyone realizes. At the same time, Rip uncovered new information that could expose an even bigger conspiracy surrounding the ranch. Now Episode 7, titled Den of Sin, appears ready to push every character toward their breaking point. The episode opens with Rip settling into his new role at 10-Petal Ranch. Although he has earned the respect of most of the cowboys, tensions remain high. Many workers still see him as an outsider. Rip notices that something feels wrong. The ranch is calmer than usual. Too calm. Meanwhile, Beth is busy helping Beulah secure a major business deal that could transform the future of the ranch. The partnership seems promising, but Beth knows better than anyone that trust is a dangerous thing. While Beth works on expanding the ranch's future, Carter faces problems of his own. His feelings for Orina continue to grow stronger. Believing that life might finally be getting better, Carter decides to tell Orina how he really feels. Unfortunately, things do not go as planned. The rejection leaves Carter heartbroken and emotionally vulnerable, but Carter's heartbreak is only the beginning. Back at the ranch, Rob Will secretly returns. His arrival changes everything. Filled with anger and resentment, he begins manipulating those around him, especially Chet, who is already struggling with his own frustrations. The situation quickly spirals out of control. In one of the most shocking moments of the season, Chet confronts Joaquin and opens fire. Panic erupts. Cowboys rush for cover. Bullets fly. Within seconds, the ranch becomes a battlefield. The confrontation ends with Chet dead and Joaquin seriously wounded. As the dust settles, Rip realizes this wasn't a random act of violence. Someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Someone dangerous. And that realization sets up what may become the biggest conflict of the season. Meanwhile, Beth shares a tense conversation with Beulah. At first, it seems harmless. Then Beulah casually mentions Jamie Dutton. The mood instantly changes. Beth's face hardens. For a brief moment, viewers can see genuine fear behind Beth's usual confidence. Because Beth understands exactly what Beulah is implying. She knows Beulah is digging into her past, and she may be getting dangerously close to the truth. The episode ends with Beth staring across the Texas landscape, knowing that another storm is coming. Episode 7 begins the morning after the shooting. The atmosphere at the ranch has completely changed. Nobody feels safe anymore. Rip takes charge immediately. He increases security. He questions every witness. And he starts connecting the dots. The evidence leads him toward one name. Rob Will. For the first time, Rip becomes convinced that Rob Will is responsible for much more than anyone realizes. And once Rip sets his sights on someone, there is no turning back. Beth, meanwhile, faces her own battle. Beulah's investigation into the Dutton family continues. The more she learns, the more dangerous she becomes. Beth realizes that she can no longer treat Beulah as an ally. A confrontation becomes inevitable. What starts as a business disagreement soon turns into a brutal power struggle. Neither woman is willing to back down. Neither woman is willing to lose. And that is exactly what makes their conflict so dangerous. The central story of Episode 7 revolves around Rip. After discovering new information about Rob Will's activities, Rip decides enough is enough. He gathers a small group of trusted cowboys. No meetings. No negotiations. No second chances. Just action. Rip's mission is simple. Find Rob Will. End the threat. Before more innocent people get hurt. The hunt leads them deep into dangerous territory where they uncover evidence of a much larger operation connected to the violence surrounding the ranch. Meanwhile, Beth Dutton is focused on securing the future of the ranch. She spends much of her day working alongside Beulah Jackson, a woman whose influence continues to grow. Beth understands that protecting the ranch requires more than strength and determination. It requires money, strategy, and powerful alliances. While Beulah presents herself as a friend and business partner, Beth remains cautious. She has spent her entire life surrounded by people who smile to her face while plotting behind her back. Although the partnership appears successful, Beth knows that trust is often the most dangerous risk of all. At the same time, Carter finds himself struggling with personal problems. After spending so much time proving himself to Beth and Rip, he finally begins to feel like he belongs. His confidence has grown, and for the first time in a long while, he starts imagining a future for himself. Much of that hope comes from his growing feelings for Orina. Carter believes there may be something special between them. Encouraged by a few positive moments they have shared, he decides to tell her how he feels. Unfortunately, reality hits harder than he expected. Orina gently rejects him, leaving Carter heartbroken and embarrassed. What seemed like a hopeful new beginning quickly becomes another painful lesson about life. While Carter deals with disappointment, another threat quietly arrives at the ranch. Rob Will returns with unfinished business and a growing desire for revenge. Carter believes there may be something special between them. Encouraged by a few positive moments they have shared, he decides to tell her how he feels. Unfortunately, reality hits harder than he expected. Orina gently rejects him, leaving Carter heartbroken and embarrassed. What seemed like a hopeful new beginning quickly becomes another painful lesson about life. While Carter deals with disappointment, another threat quietly arrives at the ranch. Rob Will returns with unfinished business and a growing desire for revenge. Unlike the others, he isn't interested in compromise or peace. He believes he has been wronged, and he intends to make everyone pay for it. Instead of acting immediately, he begins manipulating those around him. He carefully studies the weaknesses of the people he encounters and uses their frustrations against them. Before long, his influence begins spreading through the ranch like a disease. One person particularly vulnerable to Rob Will's manipulation is Chet. Already frustrated with his situation and feeling increasingly isolated, Chet becomes easy to influence. The more Rob Will feeds his anger, the more unstable Chet becomes. Rip notices the changes but doesn't yet understand how serious the situation has become. By the time he realizes something is wrong, it may already be too late. As the day continues, tensions rise across the ranch. Small arguments become larger confrontations. Workers begin taking sides. Rumors spread faster than facts. Nobody knows exactly what is happening, but everyone can feel that something is coming. The sense of unease grows stronger with every passing hour. Then disaster strikes. In one of the most shocking moments of the season, Chet finally loses control. Driven by anger and manipulation, he confronts Joaquin. What begins as a heated argument quickly escalates into violence. Within seconds, gunfire erupts across the ranch. Cowboys dive for cover as panic spreads in every direction. Horses scatter. People scream. Dust fills the air as chaos takes over. The peaceful ranch is transformed into a battlefield. Rip immediately rushes toward the danger. Years of experience allow him to react without hesitation. His only concern is protecting the people under his care. By the time the shooting stops, the damage has already been done. Chet lies dead, and Joaquin is seriously wounded. The entire ranch is left in shock. Nobody expected things to spiral so far out of control. As emergency crews arrive and the dust begins to settle, Rip starts asking questions. The more information he gathers, the more convinced he becomes that this was not simply a random act of violence. Too many details don't add up. Too many people seem nervous. Too many connections lead back to the same place. Rip begins to suspect that someone has been working behind the scenes all along.